I came across what looked to me like a bunch of people talking about bees. You're going, Candace, what do you, like literally bees in a way that the only way I can describe it to you is like they were speaking about bees, but they weren't speaking about bees. It was very coded. And I'm going, am I going crazy? Or do you think that all these people are really actually, quote unquote, bee farmers? Oh my goodness. And my gut is telling me Utah state flag is a hexagonal beehive, right?
Grace and peace, everybody. You saw the thumbnail. You saw the title. I want to talk about a concept that happens in Christendom, emphasis on dumb, whenever a major event happens. Whenever a major event happens in Christendom, what tends to happen is out of the woodwork crawl all of these quote unquote prophets and prophetess and people who had a dream, people who knew this was going to happen. And they'll always come back after the fact and say, I knew that this was going to happen. The Lord showed me that this was going to happen because of XYZ. My dog ran around the circle 4 times, and I knew that that was going to be the 4 knocks on the door that were going to come to tell the lady that her gerbil got ran over by an 18-wheeler. I mean, just crazy stuff. It always happens. It never fails. If you just search YouTube, there's tons of people with quote unquote prophecies now that Charlie Kirk has been assassinated. But they had nothing to say about him on the 9th of September, nothing to say about him on the 8th. It's always after the fact. It's retroactive prophecies, I call it. And so they're false prophets most of the time, and they're just saying something to try to get their name out there in the zeitgeist. They're saying stuff to get notoriety. They're saying stuff to get their own fortune and fame, not to bring honor to Christ at all. Well, Candace has dropped her own version of this prophecy. And somebody yesterday, or earlier today, please forgive me, said, you need to watch her rant about bees, not the letter B, but bees, B-E-E-S, bumble, honey, bees. She did a video yesterday. I'm sorry. If you're still following after Candace after this point, you get what you get, and you can't pitch a fit. You cannot be upset if Candace is lying to you. Now, she might be right about Macron. She might be right about other things and aspects. But this right here has got to be the most egregious example of her just outright making up a story. This makes no sense whatsoever. And I'm just going to play it. I might stop a couple times because there's some instances here where she leaves some gaps in information, I think, that are probably for good reason. There's probably good reasons why she leaves the gaps in information. Again, this is for all of the Candaspiracy cult members. Come on up here to the front of the church. We left some room for you up here in the front. Come on up in here, scoot in, everybody. Let the Candace cult members come up close to the church, because you got to see this. You have to see this objectively. You could still think that Candace is the bee's knees. No pun intended. You might think Candace is great, but you got to admit this story is crazy. Like, I don't care where you land. All these puns. I don't care where you land, what flower you land on about Candace. You might still think Candace is great. You might think she's just the best thing popping. After you watch this story, objectively tell me this story doesn't cause you to at least pump the brake a little bit. Bring down the odometer just a little bit. Slow her down just a little tad bit. Because, man, I've been running fast after her. And this example right here, she is outright lying to you. I'm sorry. My name is Jason, dearwokec@gmail.com. She is telling you a story that is unverifiable. And I want you to add this to your list. Because, again, if you're one of the Candaspiracy cult members, I really need you to start keeping a list. Like, you got your little pad of paper over here. I need you to start writing down every time she tells you a story and she says, I'll bring you the evidence. I'll show you later. Don't worry about it. Trust me, bro. Call the book the Trust Me, Bro book. She does this a lot, and it's crazy work. So let's go ahead and bring this in. Come on now. Come on. I got to build up a little bit. Come on. I got to build it up a little bit, but trust me, it's worth the wait. Ladies and gentlemen, no further ado, let's go.
Anyways, this
Green hearts in the chat.
overwhelming feeling I had never experienced something like that since until about a week before, or actually, 10 days before Charlie got assassinated. And so I'm going to explain that to you because you guys who watch this podcast might have realized something, that we took the show off air randomly for the first couple of days in September. So I will describe to you exactly what happened. There at first was a elementary school shooting that happened at a Catholic school, and I was just concerned in a way that I had never felt so impacted. And I was going, something isn't right. Something is just not right. And I felt that there was some sort of an infiltration that was happening at schools. And the best way that I can describe it in a sentence is that I sensed that the danger wasn't stopping there and that more was coming, and that I needed to take a look at just the process of hiring people at the school that my children were going to attend. And I did.
Okay, I got to stop right there. So 10 days before Charlie's murder, she had this foreboding feeling. This is exactly line upon line some of those quote unquote Christian prophets that have come out after Charlie Kirk's death. The exact same thing. I mean, it's almost like she's reading a script. But can you imagine her going to the school, asking the headmaster, the principal, the team in charge about their hiring practices? And the way she comes across here on screen, she's making an attempt to put her best face forward. How do you think she comes across when she's in person? Wait till she explains how the staff kind of brushes her off. I'm sorry, she's giving Karen vibes. Can I speak to your manager vibes? Watch this.
Just a cursory online search and some messages I found, which were not written by a teacher at the school, but someone who was adjacent to some teachers at the school, gave me pause for concern. In fact, explicitly what it was.
Okay, I'm gonna stop. I know, catch you on I know. Don't beat me up. Don't beat me up. Don't get me. I'm building something. Don't beat me up. She doesn't tell you where she found this information. I was just online. So where were you online? How did you were you on a message board? Were you on a YouTube channel? How did you find this information? She doesn't tell you. Again, she's just playing in your face. Y'all, I'm gonna back up just a little smidgen, a little second or two, and let's go.
Sensed that the danger wasn't stopping there and that more was coming, and that I needed to take a look at just the process of hiring people at the school that my children were going to attend. And I did just a cursory online search and some messages I found, which were not written by a teacher at the school, but someone who was adjacent to some teachers at the school, gave me pause for concern. In fact, explicitly what it was a Polish underground symbol, like a Polish communist underground symbol that nobody would have recognized outside of people who know what it meant. And I just sort of went, okay, that's weird.
Yeah. Weird.
I kept looking online, and strangely, I'm not kidding, and I'm going to show you these messages, I came across what looked to me like a bunch of people talking about bees. You're going, Candace, like literally bees, in a way that's the only way I can describe it to you is like they were speaking about bees, but they weren't speaking about bees. It was very coded. And I'm going, am I going crazy? Or do you think that all these people are really actually, quote unquote, bee farmers, or saying that they farm bees?
Now, John, I'm gonna have to put you in 0-second timeout. We don't ask those kind of questions of Candaspiracy. We just believe Candaspiracy. This is the Trust Me Bro episode. We do not ask questions. Because in a moment, I'm going to show you what I think she saw, and y'all tell me. Okay, so hold on tight. Okay, so yeah, put a bee in the chat. There we go. Put some bees in the chat because we got bees going around here. I'm sorry. I can't. I'm trying to be serious with this woman, but I can't take Candaspiracy seriously. I just cannot believe she's telling the story with a straight face. This should be told in a drunk bar with karaoke playing in the background. There's no way you should be telling this story to sane people. This is that padded room, on the third floor of Arkham that you're telling to the man that's dressed as a bat. You're not telling real people this. I'm sorry. Listen to this story.
Talking about bees. You're going, Candace, what do you, like literally bees in a way that's the only way I can describe it to you is like they were speaking about bees, but they weren't speaking about bees. It was very coded. And I'm going, am I going crazy? Or do you think that all these people are really actually quote unquote bee farmers or saying that they farm bees? What is this lingo that I'm not understanding? Why do I feel like it's related to students? I didn't feel good about it at all. And I just sensed that we needed to get more involved, to go to the school, to ask about the process of hiring, to see if they needed more security. They were kind of giving up me the thing that teachers do now when you ask any questions about what happens at the school, which is they make you think like, why do you want to know? Like, we just do whatever we want to do. It's like, I don't know. My children are like 5 and
No, I'm sorry. Y'all know me. I'm a former classroom teacher. No teachers say that. There's absolutely unequivocally no teachers say that. What do you want to know? We just do whatever. Nobody says that. You're going to have, where is the evidence, ma'am? Again, come on up here to the front of the church. I know we got 122 people watching this live stream. If you're a member of the Candacespiracy cult, we saved you a seat in the front of the church. Come on up here to the front. Come on up here. Get on up here to the front of the church because you need to be close to this. Ask questions. Where is her evidence? She's got websites. She's got these nefarious bee harvester websites. She's got these visions. You need to start asking her, where is the evidence of this, ma'am? Stop taking this stuff at face value. This is ridiculous. This is infuriating because she's saying something. In a minute, it's going to go very dark. So right now we're all laughing, kikiing and having fun. It's going to go dark in a few seconds. And if you're a member of the Candacespiracy cult, you got to stop putting up with this. You don't have to come over here to the Jay Witt podcast. I'm okay with that. You don't have to become a Jay Witt aficionado, member of the pod squad. Hit that like button. But still, you got to start asking questions because this woman is playing in your face. Why does she feel so comfortable telling you this story? That's the question you must ask yourself. What about me is so open that this woman would tell me this type of story? That's the problem. That's what you need to be asking if you're a member of the Candacespiracy cult.
Actually, parents should, of course, we need to be more involved. Like, how did we get here that we feel like we're crazy for asking questions about the hiring practices at schools? And the feeling just didn't go away. I can show you this actually, because I was thinking like, I said to my husband, there is some weird underground, it's like I sense like imminent danger is coming. And for some reason, I feel like there is an underground that has emerged at schools and it's like related to bees. That's what I said. And I messaged multiple people about this, my sister. Here are a couple of more text messages to other people. You can look at the time frame here. This is 8:30, August 30th. This is September 1st when we went off air. September 2nd, we were off air. And I started talking about people that were discussing bees in a way that didn't make sense. I'm like, I don't know if this is drugs. I don't know what it is, but it's weird. And so in a sentence, I just said, there's imminent danger coming. Okay. It is relating to a school. I think it's a communist underground and I don't know why, but it has something to do with bees. Totally sensible thing to say to your husband. Oh, and we need to hire more security. And we did. We hired more security that very week.
I feel bad for her. I'm feeling bad for Candace because at this point, her tourism into conspiracy land has really affected her negatively. Like, this is not normal behavior. This is not the behavior of somebody who has a firm grip and a firm arms around reality. She literally said that something nefarious is going to happen is dealing with bees at school because I ran across a bulletin board. By the way, we have no idea what the page was. We don't know what she saw. And in a moment, I'll show you what I think she saw, and you just let me know. This is crazy. And she's still going to add more to it, though. This is ridiculous. If you're a Candace cult member, this is your person. This is your person. This is Candacespiracy, ladies and gentlemen.
And I was just frantic about it. And we made the decision that we needed to homeschool immediately and started the process, pulled our kids out of homeschooling and starting to interview people. But it wasn't enough. Like, despite hiring more security, despite taking my kids out of school, I still had a sense of dread. The Tuesday night, the night before Charlie got assassinated,
So all of this is building up to it. Remember, I'm telling you, this is what those false prophets do in Christendom. They come out, 2-3 days after the event and say, oh yes, the Lord told me. I knew this was going to happen. Now, granted, they didn't tell you beforehand. They knew nothing beforehand, but afterwards, they got 2020 vision prophecies after the fact. This is ridiculous. So she done took her kids out of school because she found a bulletin board with people talking about bees. Everybody on this channel has some little guilty pleasure that they like to watch on YouTube that really has nothing to do with their own lives. They just like watching it. It has nothing to do with them whatsoever. They'll probably never do it. They're just interested in it, whether it be, feral pig hunting, magnet fishing, fill in the blank, right? Car restoration, sneaker restoration. All of us have those. And each one of those little niches have their own language and their own lingo that seems weird to us. Candace goes into the bee community and says, everything they say over here is weird. I'm translating it as nefarious. Let me pull my kids out of school and get extra security. That's not normal behavior. If you're a member of the Candacespiracy cult, I'm telling you right now, that is not normal behavior. That's not a sane, rational look at the world. Everybody in here has a job. Everybody in here has interests that other people don't know about, whether it be mountain biking, again, or skiing. Maybe you're an arborist, maybe you're a gardener. And every last one of them have their own lingo, their own little things and little nuances. How dare I go and say, oh, geranium club. Oh my gosh, geranium, German. Oh my gosh, come on.
That's crazy!
And they're digging holes too. This woman, this is not normal behavior. We're going to see the bees in a second. We're going to see the flag in a second.
Book club. And I felt like I needed to emphasize to people in book club that it was time to take their kids out of school. Like, take your kids out of school. Something danger is happening right now. And I'm going to show you a clip. Obviously, this is all behind the paywall of what I said to people that are in the book club. Take a listen. I'm homeschooling my kids. I'm so excited. I'm very excited. I'm embarking on this recent decision. And it is just, I can't explain to you when a weight got lifted off my shoulders, because I was like, I can't just speak about this. Like, we have to do it and show people that it can be done. And I'm so glad that my sister who did it first, because I was like, my sister, it was very difficult for her to do this. She's got to wake up super early, but seeing her do it made me go, my older sister, I was like, what is wrong with me? Of course I can do this. And again, this weight being lifted off my shoulders of you don't get my kids. This whole system, this whole matrix, got to send your kids to school so we can what? Indoctrinate them mentally. In some schools, there's abuses that are happening, and I just have to take the risk and give you my child, my small child, and then you're going to gaslight me. This is what happened, actually. I was asking the school basic questions, because I was only going to put them in a little daycare program, pre-K program. And I was ask questions how do you hire people? And they were like, you don't get to ask those questions. What's wrong with you, Mom? Why are you so scared? I'm like, okay, bye-bye. See you never. Don't make me think that I'm weird for being a mom. Okay. Don't make me believe or try to sell to me this idea that we're sharing these kids. These are your students. These are my kids. And if you don't understand that, then they can't be your students. That's it. That was on September 9th. Okay. Then came September 10th. Obviously, Charlie lost his life. And a few days later, I was told, and I sensed instantly that there was a hive of people that were involved in this. I just knew it. And when it happened, I just went, oh my goodness. And my gut is telling me that this was the thing, that the dread that I sensed that was coming out of school. And I had no idea. I am not a flag person at all. And then someone told me, and I was astonished, that Utah recently, extraordinarily, did modernize their bee flag. I had no idea that the Utah state flag is a hexagonal beehive, right? And unbeknownst to me, that it has always been the beehive state. So in 2024, they modernized their flag, but they've always been known as the beehive state. And to be clear, it's not because they make honey. It's not because they have a high presence of bees. In fact, in terms of making honey or bee-related products, they rank number 24. It's actually the beehive state. It relates to the Mormon church, the Church of Latter-day Saints. Early Mormon pioneers founded that state, and they liked the idea of a beehive working toward a common good. Now, if that sounds vague.
Okay, I gotta stop. I'm gonna show you this. She said it was a hexagonal beehive. Let me pull in real quick. Here is the picture of the modern Utah flag. And again, if you're a Candace Owens supporter, why does she keep playing in your faces like this? Why does she keep saying things that are demonstrably not true? And so I did a little quick search real quick, and I just said the old flag. And here, I don't see a hexagon. This looks like what there used to be. If you are a Candace Owens supporter, do what you do. Do what you will. But don't let it be said, do not let it be said that nobody told you that you were crazy. Now, maybe this is it. Maybe she's talking about maybe this could be the hexagon. But really, is that what she's saying? Is that what we're supposed to change our whole lives about? Because there's literally, that is some crazy word. If that's what, because see, I also see this one. That's why maybe I was getting confused. I also see this one where it's round. This one right here is, I guess this one is hexagon. I guess I'll give it that. I'll take that. But the old one had nothing on it. Like, Candace, for real? And what is wrong with the hexagon? Can I get the knowledge on that one? Like, what is the conspiracy of a hexagon? Y'all, this woman keep playing in y'all faces. She's doing this on purpose. That's all I can say. Let's get done, Candace. Conspiracy, continue.
Vaguely familiar or communist to you, the idea of worker bees. Yes, that's where it's from. So this sort of doom that I had about an underground happening, I was just like totally freaked out. It's a Soviet symbol, like the idea of making everybody into a worker bee. And whether you're on the left or the right, you should understand where the public school system comes from. Okay, it is shaped by Soviet ideology. I tell people a must-read book is Inside the American Education System by Thomas Sowell. It is not left or right. He is just telling you how it all came together. The decline, the deception, the dogmas, and how they are programming our children. You cannot unread that book after you read it, because you realize there's no such thing as being too hawkish. They know how to get things in there and how to pull children away from their parents, as it was designed in the Soviet system. Okay. That was the end of it. Actually, I realized it, but I just want to say, like, the whole thing about the bees, if you can watch that and tell me that does not sound like the machinations of a lunatic, I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. Because you came across a random Reddit post about bees, and you said you determined that what they were talking about was not what they were talking about on your own strength. You determined that. And because there's something else we know about Candace. You know what we know about Candace? I don't know, but I know. Okay. I don't know, but I know. It makes sense. That's what we know. She doesn't know anything, but she will impose her own beliefs. She will hoist her own theories anywhere she wants to. She just throw them wherever. And Candaspiracy will not stop. Like, I'm sorry. There's no way you can watch that and tell me that is not the machinations of somebody that's probably having an event. I can't see it any other way. I don't know how she would have time to homeschool. I thought that was very interesting. And I was going to say, I'm going to get homeschool. Shout out to all homeschoolers and parents that homeschool. That's not something you just jump in. Oh, I'm just going to do it tomorrow. Just wake up tomorrow and start homeschooling. Some people transitioning from regular school or even transitioning into homeschooling take about 2 or 3 months, even longer, to get themselves ready to be ready to teach their little people. Because it's easy to get into to just say, we'll do it later. We'll just kind of tap in, tap out.
It's easy to do that. But if you really want to be dialed in, you really got to be dialed in. You don't just do that on a whim. Oh, I'm just going to pull my kids out because I had a weird dream and now I'm going to homeschool. No, you don't do that. Shout out to all homeschool parents in the chat, like, or those who know people who are homeschooled or you were homeschooled. Shout out to them. You don't do that on a whim. You don't do that on willy-nilly. She just doing it on the fly. Woke up one morning, had a bad dream, had some weird mustard on my dinner last night, gave me indigestion, had a strange dream. We're going to start homeschooling. Saw some bees, saw a hexagon, starting that homeschool. That's crazy work. It's not normal. But again, everybody in the Candace cult, make sure you sitting up here in the front of the church and you just decide if that makes sense to you. If that makes sense to you, then so be it. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do about it. I see your name is Buzz Kim. How on point is that? Shout out to Buzz Kim. She's the queen bee up in here. But again, man, if you are following Candace and that stuff made sense to you, okay. All right, I'll take it. I can't do nothing about it. There's nothing I can do. Okay. But all I want you to ask yourself, if you're a member of the Candace cult, do you understand why somebody like myself, the people in the best live chat on the internet, the most electrifying comment section on the planet, do you understand why we see this as weird? When we see this woman talking about bees, and Hexagon, Utah was all about worker bees and people working together. So they are working together. That means there was a whole cabal that worked together to kill Charlie Kirk. Can you see why we might say, yeah, put the cell phone down and go touch some grass? Can you see that? Can you understand why we don't rock with that? Now, you can still hold on to it. Hold on to it as much as you want to. But can you understand why we don't rock with it? That's my question. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Witt Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.